Welcome back to Licensed and Unsupervised with
Naomi and Becky.
So, where we are right now wasn't here. This complex wasn't even here. So, like, literally, we lived in the sticks in Shelby Township, which is not the sticks anymore. So what we used to do is have these huge bonfires in the middle of the forest. And so, like, all of the groups would all meet in the middle, and like everyone got along at the bonfires, which was kind of cool. That was my experience, anyways. Sorry if everyone else had a shitty experience, but I thought it was great. I don't know, but I for sure had to drive my 1995 Saturn that I paid for myself and park it next to the BMWs at Eisenhower.
Wait, okay, wait a minute. I'm familiar with like the whole car situation because now I've lived here for 15 years and my kids have grown up here. And like when they started driving, they were like, so and so gets this. And I was like, well, you do not. You are a new driver and I am not about to have you play bumper cars with a brand new car. But that is always, I didn't realize that happened back then also. That is crazy to me.
I believe only at Eisenhower it was happening because that's where the rich people live.
Oh, okay. That makes
And
sense.
I believe
now.
it still happens today there.
There, but also lots of other schools that
Okay.
I've seen. Like so much so I would say that at like Stevenson, which I don't think it's as much there, but
Uh-huh.
it was enough that when grandparents were visiting, my dad made note of like, he was just looking around and he was like, wow, there's a lot of fancy cars. And Ricardo was like, yeah, they're not the parents' cars either. These are the kids' cars. He was
Yeah.
like, what? So
Yeah.
just,
Yeah. We didn't have like super fancy cars at our school, but Lake Orion is pretty close to Auburn Hills, which is where the Stellantis headquarters is at. So
Okay.
a lot of the kids in my school, including my parents, they had parents that worked at Stellantis. When you work for
Okay.
Stellantis, fun fact, you do not have to pay for car insurance because the
Oh.
company pays for your car insurance for you. You
That's
do not
cool.
have to pay for maintenance. None of that. They take care of everything.
Wow.
So, yeah,
No kidding.
yeah, it's a good gig to have. So many of the kids and myself and my brother, we had employee leases through Stellantis. So I drove a Jeep Renegade for a lot of high school. And they only do like really short-term leases too because they want the employees driving the new cars so they can show them off so that other people see them and want to buy them. So that's how I
Hmm.
ended up when I was working at Paul Mitchell driving a lime green Dodge Charger because it was actually the cheapest car that I could get
Okay.
because of the sweet deal that my parents had because they were still working at Stellantis and I was under 25, 26 where you can be on
Uh-huh.
your so I could still like kind of get a car through them. Didn't have to pay insurance or maintenance or nothing. I
Huh.
just paid my lease every month. That was pretty low for this type of car that it was.
Got it. So for our listeners, how old are you?
so,
I'm 25.
and I just had a big light bulb moment because we
Okay.
are in the Motor City.
Yes.
And okay, that makes sense now.
Yes.
So maybe they're not all purchasing their car. It's not they're not buying
No.
the car in the same way that I'm
No.
buying my car.
That is correct.
It makes so much more sense now.
And I mean, I did know that, but that's not the case if they're driving BMWs and
Yeah,
Mercedes.
BMW is
Oh,
different.
hell
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
That's
Like if
definitely
it's
not
like
the
a
same thing.
Stellantis car or if it's a GM car, because there's a GM plant like right by where my parents live too.
Yeah.
They use the gas from the landfill to power the car plant, which is like crazy. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's
We-
fascinating.
yeah,
Cool though.
yeah, we went in high school on a field trip to the landfill. Yeah, we drove up to the top of the landfill on a school bus. It was the most fun I ever
Wow.
had. But then, yeah, it was not fun. That part was not fun. But the fun part was we got to go to the plant, the GM plant, and like we saw them like painting the cars and stuff. And they talked about how sometimes like the car paint colors are based off of nail polish colors. So that was cool to learn. But yeah, so everybody in Lake Orion has
fascinating.
like a Stellantis car or a GM car for the most part.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
I had to buy my first car too
Yeah.
because I was told at like 14-ish, 14 and a half, they're like, so if you want a car, you're going to have to buy it and you're going to have to pay for the insurance. And I
Same.
was like, well,
Also at 14.
okay,
Because that's when you could do the permit.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay. And I just remember thinking, well, babysitting is not going to cut it. Let me get this job at the ice cream place. So I did.
Really?
And I did.
I worked at an ice cream place
And you
too.
know what? I feel it. Mine was called Country Style. Shout out Country Style. They are still there. I love to get a cone. Well, maybe not now that's probably what's wrong with me. I worked at an ice cream store too young and ate too much cream. Now I can't have it. My tummy doesn't like it. But
Same.
But I remember getting like closer to the car and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to afford. Well, I have an uncle who was at the time, he had found this 1974 Plymouth Satellite Sebring Plus. It was a tank and it looked as cool as it sounds and it sounded cool. But it was huge, kind of Dukes of Hazzard-ish, if you know what that car, like sort of Knight Rider-ish. I'll have to look up a photo. I know Ryan's like, I have no idea what you're saying. But it was very cool, and it had a back seat that was like the size of a couch, even though it was a two-door. And I paid my uncle and my aunt $1,000 because he went and bought it. What happened, I think this is the story fully, he went to Alabama to get it. It did not run. It didn't work. And so he purchased it. And then when he brought it back, and it was this whole thing of like, well, maybe now we're going to get rid of it. And they're like, Becky needs a car. I paid them $1,000, but I didn't have $1,000. I paid them every check $50. My aunt and my uncle were my very first bank.
That's incredible.
At 15, well, basically 16 when I got it because I had to wait till I had a license. But I know. And it was like a haunted car too, a little, because the radio never worked. And it became like, so it was like always a joke if you rode with me that you would like turn the knob like you were going to turn on the radio and you would start singing because it was fun to pretend you were the radio. Except one time my friend turned it on and it started playing and we got freaked out.
Oh, no.
It was playing some crazy country thing. So I was like,
Wow, that
okay,
is terrifying.
But she worked.
Yeah. My favorite car that I've had was my 91 Escort GT.
Oh, an Escort.
Mm-hmm.
I got stitches from my dad's Escort when I was younger.
She was covered in stickers.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. She just stopped working though.
Yeah.
One day. Yeah. I worked at a car dealership and they're like, yeah, no, you can't drive her no more. I was like, but I don't have any other cars. And they're like, well, we sell them here. And I was like, I didn't want to do that. I was not. Yeah. So then I ended up with a Oldsmobile. It was terrible. An Alero. I hated that car so much. Yeah. Now I drive a Volkswagen and I don't know that I'd ever go back.
Oh, good to know.
I mean,
Shout
I have
out
a lease.
Volkswagen.
Yeah, I have a lease, and it includes all my oil changes and anything that goes wrong. They just send me a text and they're like, "Hey, there will be a recall coming soon.
Right.
Make your appointment." And then it's all done in advance. And then I walk in and they're like, "Would you like some popcorn or some coffee?" And I'm like, "Yes, I would. Thank you so much."
Customer service goes a long way.
It really does. It's especially after having GM cars for several times after. It's vastly different.
I will say that. Yeah, I have a Nissan now, and I've had it for 10 years, 10 or 11 years. Yeah, and I was like surprised at the experience. The first, I was like, wow, there's places that do this and treat you like you're the queen when you come in.
Yeah. So do you go and get your cars, or does your parents get your cars for you?
Oh, nowadays, so they both are retired now.
Oh, okay. So you don't have this.
I don't
thing
have
anymore.
the Nepo baby perks anymore.
Dang it.
So yeah, it's really sad actually. I kind of really liked that a lot. I was very spoiled by them in that regard, of course.
Yeah.
But no, this car was bought.
Okay.
It is owned,
Got it. I started.
co-signed with my parents, but like
That's
I
okay.
bought
I
it.
mean,
I sign the papers too, and I pay for it every month and all the things.
well, yeah. I mean, that's. I
Yeah.
think the meat and potatoes of it, right?
Yeah,
My husband pays for my car.
that's nice. I
Yeah.
love that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I totaled it once. I
Oh,
got a
yeah.
new one.
I
Mhm.
have been my car was totaled when I was in high school, because this girl was texting and driving, ran into me, and I almost ended up in Lake Orion. Well, no, was it Lake? No, it was Buckhorn Lake
Oh,
in Lake Orion,
no.
but it was.
Were you
Buckhorn
okay?
Lake. Oh yeah, I mean I was like sore and whatever after, and like the
Sure.
the frame of the car was bent, so it was donezo. It was a orange one. I
Oh.
like fun color cars. Right now my car's not a fun color because
No,
the
it's
one that I
black,
got
right?
doesn't come in like super fun colors. But generally when I can, I like to get something a little little
You
flashy.
can wrap it.
I could wrap it. When I was buying it, I was talking to this guy about wrapping it, and he said that he knew a guy, he could get me a good deal. You know how people
I
say
think
that.
I know a guy.
Yeah,
Actually. Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
What would you wrap it in? What would
See,
be your
that's-
all-time favorite?
That's the thing, is that there's too many options when you wrap it, right? Because like, okay, if I'm gonna wrap it, then I would want to get something like crazy, like a iridescent or like a the
Chameleon. That's what I would get
yeah,
too.
chameleon. But like then you gotta get like weatherproof and all this stuff, and like I don't have a garage.
Oh.
That's the problem too. I don't have a garage, so I can't like protect the
Yeah. So
stuff.
that would be a waste of money.
That would be a waste. That's why I ended up not doing it.
I ruined somebody's chameleon paint one time.
What'd you do?
So this was in high school.
Wait, you ruined their chameleon
Yes.
paint? Did you egg their house?
No.
No, or their car?
No, and it was so unintended. Like I did not mean to do this, and it was so bad. And then it got away from me, and I don't even know if
Do
I can
tell.
post this.
Oh no! Are you outing yourself? And no
Yes.
one else knows this?
Yeah,
Top secret
yeah,
info.
yeah. My mom does, because I had to tell her later in life because she defended me to the police, and I then had to tell her that I lied to the police. So what happened was, we're seniors in high school.
How many? Oh, wait, pause. How many years ago? Seniors in high
Seniors
school.
in high school.
So when did you graduate?
99.
Okay, so yeah,
So
statute of limitations
this is
is
like
over. I think
1999. Yes.
I was 2000.
I was not born yet.
Yeah, we're aware of that. Yeah, we know that.
I was a millennium girl. 2000.
That's when I was born.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we're glad you were born.
Yeah, we're happy that you're here. What was I talking about?
Your
Oh, the
crime.
chameleon. Yeah, my
Lying
crimes.
to the
My outing
the
of my
police.
crimes. Okay, so it's senior year and there's senior pranks happening. And we didn't have like water wars or anything that was like strategic or monitored or supervised. Of any, like we said, we were feral. And we're not kidding.
Uh-huh.
So there was this person, and I'm not going to use their name, but this person, and I worked with them at Farmer Jack. And we were friends. I don't know. I don't remember everything. All I remember is that like we were playing around in the parking lot, and they tried to jump on my car, and then I turned my car, and then they fell off my car, and then they broke their arm, and they had to go to school like this with a cast.
Stop. Wait.
Yeah, I'm starting at the beginning of the story.
Someone. Okay, hold on. You said
Mhm.
that so fast.
I know.
They were riding on your car?
Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't
No, yeah,
remember
we do.
exactly.
Okay, so they were riding
Yeah.
on your car.
Yeah, and then
And
like
then
I
they
turned
fell
the
off
car,
'cause
and
you
then they
turned,
fell off,
and they
and
broke
then they
their
broke
arm.
their arm, and then they had to come to school like this with like a bar that held the
I
hand.
remember those bars when they would
Yeah.
put people in casts.
Yeah.
You couldn't. I
Yeah,
don't know
you
why
couldn't-
they
I don't
did
either.
that.
I don't either. But yeah, so like I obviously was not his favorite person, you know. So now we're obviously frenemies, and it's not good. And we're in our senior year, and now it's prank time, and it's like 2 weeks before graduation, and me and my girlfriend are like, let's get him back, because I don't remember what he did something to me. I don't even remember.
Let's get him back
'Cause he did
after
something- 'cause
his
he was-
arm is broken.
Yeah, but he
Let's
jumped on
get him-
my car himself.
Okay.
And so it's his fault
And,
that his
and
arm
he
is
got
broken
his
right
karma
now.
already from his arm getting broke.
Yeah, but then he's being mean to me and bullying me at school or something. like
Naomi.
that. Yeah. I didn't say I was a good person at this point in my
Okay.
life.
Do you remember the word feral? It's okay.
I
This
said
is- we're just
feral at the
90s.
beginning.
Just go back to that time.
There's no internet proof of any of this either, so
Exactly.
that's kind of
They didn't have cameras monitoring our
You're
move
putting
yet.
internet proof out there right now.
yeah. but,
Today
like,
you are.
Sure.
Statute
sure.
of limitations
Come
is
after
over
me.
now.
Come after me. Come for me right now. Anyways, so okay, so I don't remember what I said. I didn't remember exactly what happened. We felt that we had to get him back for some reason. Okay, so we decided that we were going to prank him. This might have even been the day of graduation. I really don't remember. Or all night party. It was around that time, and so we decided that we should put sardines on his car. I don't
Okay.
know why, but sardines were our choice. We were going to put sardines on his car, and that would be cool. So you know chemistry.
I'm not too familiar with the chemistry of sardines.
But you do know chemistry, right?
I know I like
Yeah,
chemistry.
you
I
like
think
chemistry.
It's cool. Yeah.
So basically, there was either too much alkaline or too much acid
Yeah,
or
something like
something,
that.
and so it ate the paint
Oh.
where the sardines were.
The sardines were corrosive.
Correct. Yeah, so then we
Oh,
have a
that's
police
horrible.
officer come to the door, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, so this person believes that your daughter was involved in this prank that is going to be very expensive for us to fix." And I'm like, I would never do that. Are you kidding me?
You
I'm
would
a church girl,
never.
little virgin church girl, not even a virgin at that point, but like
That was the
I'm just
persona.
great. Yeah, yes. And so I went with that, and my mom's like, obviously she didn't do it. She said she didn't do it, and she didn't do it,
And she did
and
it.
she did.
She
Yeah.
did, folks.
And the reason you got to do that and that your mom probably did believe that is because you were the church and they wanted to believe, so
Yeah.
they like,
Yeah.
I feel like I
I
had a
was really good
friend
at
like you.
masking.
Her, when she got married, her mom was so offended at the friend who gave the, when they're doing the speeches at the wedding. She was so offended because the girl who did it was talking. She did not say anything promiscuous. She just was like making joke about how her and her now husband, like, I remember when they were first getting together and hooking up and all that.
Right.
And here comes the mom to me, to
Yeah.
complain. And she's like, that is such a lie. I can't even believe she got up there and did that. And her parents or her grandparents and I had to stand there and lie. I had been married and I had 2 kids by this time. And I was like, you really believe that? Wow. That's what my head was going.
Right.
And then now that I was a parent at that time, they were little, but I was like, I don't want to be her. That's all I kept saying is, I don't want to. And my mother-in-law helped change that. Never say what you will or won't do for the most part, because we do a lot of dumb stuff, but also never say what your kids will and won't do. And yeah. Yeah, because mine was always like, that's great that your mom was like, no, she would never do that. Mine was literally like,
here's
what
the
did
bus,
she do?
we're under it.
Even when I didn't do anything. So but it was my fault. More times than not, it was me, but I was then like, there were times that it was like the reverse of Cry Wolf.
Yeah, right. And I
was like,
think
but wait,
for
I
me,
really did it this time.
like upon reflection, I feel like I just was really, really great at being fully masked. Like I'm really great at being able to be performative, which is terrifying.
That's a very funny thing to say.
But it is. Like okay, there's more context here.
Okay.
So when I opened my salon, I had a partner. Okay. And so a couple things that she would say to me often are like, it's not always about you. And I don't understand why you're acting one way and being different. And you're manipulative. And I never saw any of it until we weren't friends anymore, and then I understood that like I would mask to try to make people happy. So I would constantly like try to morph myself into whatever it was, because like I grew up, my brain didn't work like everyone else's, and they're telling me I have to believe all of these things, but it doesn't always make sense to me, and I'm trying to question it, but I'm not allowed to question it. And so it was this weird space of like my ADHD brain telling me everything's my fault, and then like also not understanding that like I'm being performative. I didn't know that I was being performative.
You're just trying to make people happy because you were a kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then once I was no longer in a relationship with her, I was able to then reflect upon my behavior with her. And then once diagnosed ADHD, a lot more came into place, and I was like, I can see her frustration in a lot of those spaces now, because I can see that I was being performative unintentionally. I was masking.
Yeah.
But like, and to that point, I think some people are masking in their performances.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I think sometimes when people are being performative, it's not to try to be cool or to try to achieve anything. It's to try to be what the expectation is of them.
Yeah, and sometimes the expectation is to be cool or to be whatever. So it's just people pleasing at the end of the day. All of it is, because that's what we're conditioned to do.
Right. I think I've heard the word performative a lot in the last few weeks even.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there are those that are performative to give a certain baseline. And I think that there are those that are just trying to do their best raw dogging it out here, you know, like, because I mean, really, I was even just watching videos of myself from 10 years ago, just listening to how I'm talking, listening to, I can see my insecurities that I no longer hold on to, you know, and like I've said it before, I probably wouldn't have slowed down had Tyler not gotten cancer.
Yeah.
And through that process, there's a lot of silence and isolation. And what happens in silence other than you are faced with your thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm also with a therapist during this time, and I'm dealing with something super traumatic. So everything's being pulled apart. And so I just learned so much about myself in this whole process.
Yeah.
And I'm not even the same person I was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of that because I think that I've been able to create a better version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. When I hear performative, I think of it in the very like social media aspect of you're being performative on social media.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what I think of as like people who are on their social media posting about we need to do that, like fuck AI, this, that, but then they're using AI at the same time. It's like, okay, so you're being performative and you're putting across this narrative that you hate this thing, but in reality you're using it. And that's just one example.
Sure.
Not to like start a conversation
I
about
understand.
AI, but
understand.
like that's
Right.
just,
Sure. Well, and I think that we've talked about this on the podcast before, even about Jordan. Like Jordan Yantos as the founder of the Rainbow Convention.
I never knew her last name.
Well, that's
Now
her
I
last
know.
name. She owns the Mermaid
Hair Lounge?
Hair Lounge.
Yep.
Yes. So this is something she said on stage in the greeting of the Rainbow Convention. And she said that the person you see online is the person that we want you to see. That is curated by this team of people. And that was the first time that anyone has ever admitted that, especially openly like that. And
Mhm.
so when she showed up on TikTok a couple of months ago organically and not performatively after saying that, I was impressed because I was like, there had to have been some growth there for her to show up organically after even admitting that she was very, curated.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my life in some ways is a performance too, every day. Because listen, when I was training to be an educator, somebody that I looked up to so much, Carlton Northern, he told me, stop looking at me like that, y'all.
We just know that he's not alive anymore.
Well, yeah, he is no longer with us. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Yeah, you just looked at me. I'm just reading into things. Yes.
Yes.
Anyways, this is what he said to me. He said that when you are an educator, you are a performer because you need to be able to hold people's attention and deliver your message. If you can't hold somebody's attention, then they're just gonna, go on their phones, fall asleep in class, whatever. So he was right. It's a performance. So when I'm educating, whether that be in real life or whether that be online or wherever it is that I'm doing it, it is a different aspect of my personality that doesn't come out as much really in real life because I'm performing. Even in this podcast, I'm performing. I'm whatever,
Right.
Like to try to hold people's attention. And in real life, I'm not as much of a, I don't know. I guess I'm not as much of like a joke cracker or whatever. I'm very like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little
Chill.
more laid back.
You are. We
Yeah.
hung out for the first time the other day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next time, this has been licensed and unsupervised with
Naomi and Becky.